I apologize. I apologize it's come to this for you to figure this all out. I apologize that I had to bring it all so close to home before you could connect the dots. I thought you were more perceptive than that. Your arguments were always so convincing that I presumed that you'd be able to see the logic in what I was doing, without me needing to spell it out like this. But obviously not. So for that, I apologize. You probably don't even know how far back this goes. That probably irritates me the most. That's why I need to explain this to you now. You probably don't even remember me. I was just a friend of a friend of a friend at another bustling party. You probably met 50 others like me that night. I'm not surprised that I didn't stick out in your mind. That's not the issue, because you stuck out in mine. Not because of how you looked, or what you did. Please, just don't confuse this as some misguided attempt to address some deeply repressed sexual issues. I'm actually quite hot, and I have been told that I can be rather charming on occasion. Indeed, that very same party I did not leave alone. Don't worry, she wasn't one of the girls that I used to make my point, though she did give out your name so I can add you on Facebook and invite you unthinkingly accepted. No, it wasn't your outfit, nor the amount you drank, not the way you danced that sent me down this road. It was your words. I remember it clearly. I'm not a big drinker. I was still supping my only beer when you started your speech. You were not even addressing me as much as the whole room, but let me tell you, I was enthralled. Truly enthralled. You used words like artists use brushes and butchers use knives. You wove tapestries and then slaughtered them. Your arguments were beautiful. Your logic infallible. I felt my eyes open and my horizon shatter as you effortlessly explored our social ills. You talked about third world poverty and I was nearly wrought to tears. The way you described their poverty and the injustice of our Western opulence was breathtaking. You even made reference to that great Jewish carpenter of lore and how he would despise the riches reaped in his name while flocks starved. You know, you truly opened my mind to a whole new way of thinking. The very next day, I sold my books and the rest of my meager possessions that were worth anything in order to raise as much cash as I can. I triumphantly took the couple of hundred the sale had garnered and handed them over to Oxfam. The woman at the till was delighted with the donation, even going so far as to print me off a certificate of donation and giving me a box of leaflets to pass out to friends. I had the certificate in hand when I used the library computer to track your address through Facebook. I know it was an invasion of privacy, and I'm really sorry, but I had to tell you how you've just changed my life. I had to show you what I'd done. You had to know the impact that your words had. But, I mean, when I got to your place, when I got there... Look, I'm telling you this because you have to understand why I've done all this, alright? You have to understand why I had to make you see. I just couldn't believe what I saw when I got to your place and looked in the windows. The opulence, the sheer, hypocritical, decadent luxury in which you lived. I had just given up everything I own to save others based on your poetical arguments, and then I saw blinding hypocrisy by which you lived. You claim we needed to erase the third world debt and tax the rich and increase the foreign aid and redistribute food and water and buy mosquito nets and countless other things that flowed like honey from your money, but now tasted rotten, as I saw the Mini Cooper in the drive. The HD TV on the entertainment center, there was a PS3 and an Xbox sitting underneath. An iPad lazily hibernating on the couch. How dare you lecture me about poverty? You had food rotting in your bins and you dare demand that others do more for the homeless? Forgive my bluntness, but I saw the whole room reduced to the currency of starving children. You told me that $3 would buy a mosquito net that would prevent a child from dying. You lectured me that $5 would build a well that would give them safe drinking water. Yet, there it was, $500 worth of expensive TV just sitting on the shelf. Your house was a mausoleum. On every shelf, in every cupboard, in every bin, in every wardrobe, there were totems of international poverty. You watch that same advert about the same starving children that I do, but then you sentence 30 more to death in order to go HD. You sickened me. I had to make you see. I realized what it was. You were too far removed from it. You didn't equate your TV with dead children 3,000 miles away. Why would you? But that's what it was, so I had to bring that home to you. So I made my first point and posted you one of the leaflets that I got from Oxfam urging you to donate that same day. I thought that when you connected the two, you'd make a donation, and that would be that. You'd have seen the point. But when you saw the news report about the homeless woman that I used to make my point, you didn't make the connection between it and the leaflet. You threw it away. You didn't even read it. I had to make another point. I made several more points with the homeless in your neighborhood, each time posting you a leaflet urging you to make the donation that would just end this, but you never made the connection between the two. You just kept throwing my leaflets away with the junk mail. You wouldn't even read the pleas written therein. One donation would have ended this. One thing that would have shown me that you'd heeded your own advice. But nothing. Eventually, it became dangerous to keep making the point in the same way. I had to make another point. This time, it was one of the baristas where you bought your overpriced coffee. Maybe you spotted the missing posters around town, but maybe not. Maybe you've not even noticed that he's gone. But you still didn't get the connection when you threw away the latest leaflet begging for a donation. You could have ended this if you just recognized the point that I was making. But you didn't. Today, I've already lost track of how many points that I've made. You've missed them all and thrown away all my leaflets. Ruined every chance that you had of stopping this and adding the blood of my points to the death toll in your living room. See, if you're hearing this, you might be horrified. Your fake horror amuses me. I can almost see you, indulgently crying with your hand theatrically clasped over your comically agape mouth. It makes no difference. Let me ask you a question. Knowing what you do know now, knowing that it was all about you, would you do anything different? Would you go back to my first point and make a donation like I wanted you to? Why? If you'd sell all your stuff to save that missing barista or all those homeless, why not for all those starving children and beaten animals? Or any of the country's other unfortunates whose plea for help turn you over from throwing away, while at the same time polluting Facebook feeds with demands for likes or ruining dinner parties with waxing theatrical about how everyone, except you, should change their ways and save the world. Why does it need to be someone you know before you understand? How come you can cry for the deaths of your friends and family on one hand, then sentence 1,000 more to death every time you want a new computer? I'm giving you one last chance. I'm recording this so I can hide it in one last leaflet. I hope you notice in time to hear it. I won't even make a point for this one. This one you can have for free. But rest assured, I had better seen a donation. Or my next point will be one you soon won't forget.